If a CIO stopped you in an elevator and asked, how do I build cost intelligence into my cloud strategy? What metrics or guardrails would you tell them to prioritize?
I would start with coming up with 3 values or principles that you want to inject into this. There's no point deploying a technology because everyone else is saying you should do this. What you should be doing is starting from the point of, I need to save money, I need to grow my business, or I need to reduce risk. What are the things that are important for me in the next 12, 24 months? Obviously, every CEO wants to do all of those things, but we all know that you can't do everything all of the time. You've got to focus or you go everywhere. So work out what you want out of something, and then also work out a way that you cannot be locked into any one service provider. Make sure that what you're building and what you're asking of your teams and partners is a service or a solution that is flexible, that can move with your business. And those are the 2 or 3 critical things to start with. We absolutely can dive into making sure your data's inexpensive, you've got it at the right tiered storage level, you've compressed it, all of those detail pieces. But if you don't start from the beginning of making sure these guardrails address things that matter to you as a business, then you're not going to be as successful as you'd hoped.
What about globally distributed apps, especially across regions like EMEA? What is the practical playbook you're seeing which has been successful? A centralized core with regional edges, data residency by default, and when does it really make sense to shift workload across providers?
Yeah, so it really depends, which I know is a very wishy-washy answer, but I'm certainly seeing customers concerned about the costs of cloud from big centralized providers, and in particular from centralized AI providers. They're also the ability to actually roll your own versions of models or experiment with different models is becoming more and more relevant. So there is a core and distributed edge approach here, remarkably similar to network design, which makes quite a lot of sense when you think about it. We want to bring everything into the center to train a large model or whatever you're trying to achieve, but you want to send the product of that model out as close and as distributed as you possibly can to where your service operates, so that it is more performant and more efficient for you. It also means that you can get the economies of scale you need. So you get a ginormous cluster of GPUs for 8 hours to process your model once a week or a month or whatever makes sense for you. You're not sat there with all of these running all of the time, nor are you sat there burning tokens because you've imported 50,000 files and each one of them has to be burned through in order to let you generate an update. So it's starting to move in those core where it makes sense, edge where you want to impact the user.
Finally, if you had to leave our viewers with one piece of advice, what's the single most important principle for designing a modern cloud strategy that is cost-aware, agile, and future-proof?
One of the things I keep coming back to is that ability for customers to control their own destiny. And it's almost plan to leave before you plan to start, as a something of a soundbite to how you start implementing new AI projects or cloud projects, because some things are going to work and some aren't. And having put all your eggs in one basket and being reliant on them, no matter how good they are as a provider, does put too much risk, in my mind and what I can see, out with your control. And that's not a comfortable place for lots of organizations to be.